And we get a music rest as well as an owner's manual, a USB cable, and here we get a power supply that is specific to your country. I hope you guys enjoyed that little unboxing video. So this is the Roland E-X30, a keyboard that Roland has made to target specifically the Southeast Asian market, the Middle Eastern as well as the Oriental market. I have made a video going through the specifications and the functions and features of this keyboard a few weeks ago, and I'll link it up here, and I will not be covering that in this video. What I will be doing instead is going through the visual as well as the physical attributes of this Roland E-X30 keyboard. It is no secret that the Roland E-X30 is using the same chassis as the Medeli M361, which is a China brand, and which Kurzweil also use on their KP110 Arranger keyboards. As such, it should be no surprise that all these three keyboards come from the same factory and maybe even the exact same production line, although there might be some small physical differences in the looks of the keyboard, but I'm pretty sure they are using the exact same chassis. So how much of Roland Japan's DNA is in this China chassis from Medeli? And that's what we are going to find out in this video, where I will go through with you the build quality, how it looks, the sound system, the connectivity options, as well as the ease of use and the keybed. Is there a good keybed action on this keyboard? I will not, however, talk about the styles as well as the tones, because I will be making a separate video covering the styles and the tones. There are lots of sounds in here, lots of rhythms for the Southeast Asian as well as the Oriental market, and I will be making separate videos on these sounds and rhythms. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jeremy C, and in my channel I make unbiased, independent and unsponsored reviews on Arranger keyboards and digital pianos. If you enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe and smash that notification bell icon. If you prefer instead sleek marketing and sales demo by professional performers paid to even touch those keyboards, you should look somewhere else. This is not the channel for you. I paid US $349 for this Roland E-X30 keyboard, and in the same price range we have the Yamaha PSR E-463, which is about US $279, as well as the Casio CTX 3000, which goes for US $299. In this list, we also get from Korg the EK50, which goes for $399. So does the Roland E-X30 stand a chance in this crowded and competitive segment of the market with their build quality, their keybed, as well as their ease of use and functionality? Let's find out. So one of the first things that I noticed the minute I unboxed this is the color. You know, this color is a little bit of a midnight blue. You either love it or you hate it. In my opinion, it just makes this look cheesy and tacky. In a generation of sleek looking iPhones and curvy Samsung Android phones, you know, this sort of design language just looks dated by at least 20 years. That's quite a disappointment considering that it has a Roland badge on it. We would expect a Roland keyboard to look a lot more handsome than what we have here. The next thing I noticed is the pitch bend wheel. It's flimsier than usual. It is kind of thin looking and there's quite a lot of give, as you can see. It's not as solidly built as I would want to. And the power button, didn't even seem very evenly built. It just didn't have the kind of premium feel to it. You know, in the marketing collateral of Roland website, it says that this is going to be a very durable build, and I don't know, maybe they sacrifice design for durability and that is what you're going to get. The volume knob feels fine though. It has a very nice feel to it. And all the different buttons has a very nice and soft feel to it as well. The screen has a very retro 1980s and 1990s kind of look to it. The fonts are very legible on the top. That makes for quick and easy selection of your sounds as well as your rhythm. Here, we have printed what are the ports that we can find below, and that makes it really easy to reach behind and plug in what we want. But I would have expected that these days you would want to plug in your USB thumb drive at the front of the keyboard rather than at the rear of the keyboard. Next, let's look at the jog dial. The jog dial has a very nice click and assured feel to it. I'm not sure whether this silver color will tarnish, because on many of the earlier Yamaha Clavinovas with this very shiny chrome looking jog wheel, it usually tarnishes after a while. Yes, the buttons on the dials here, on the number pad here, is very assured feel. It doesn't look like it's gonna attract a lot of dust, which is good. So now let's see if there will be any distortion coming out from the speaker system if we were to put on a very loud volume. The speakers didn't vibrate too much. There wasn't a lot of distortion, but it just lost a lot of the clarity when it was in the loudest position on the volume knob. That being said, the speaker system is capable, but it is definitely not the best around. In terms of usability, I like that everything has been laid out and most of the functions and features that we need to access pretty frequently and quickly is actually located on the front fascia without having to go through multiple menus. But what I've noticed is that if you want to quickly change octave, you have to use both hands, because to change the octave or to do a transposition, which is what we use often during live playing, we would have to press the shift button. And the shift button is so far off here on the left that you have to use your left hand to press the shift while holding on to the octave to select that and go on to the numerical keypad to change the transposition or the octave of the different instrument. That is not very useful if you are playing live and you're trying to do octave switches as well as transposition. Next, let's talk about the keybed. It is a pretty noisy keybed. There's a plasticky feedback to it. It doesn't feel bad, but it just doesn't feel premium. And the gaps between the keys are so big that I can literally see the screws, the metallic screws that is in between the gaps of the keys. The keybed, while being pretty noisy, feels firm and assured, and I think it is comparable to that on the Yamaha PSR E-463. As for the one on the Casio CTX3000, that is a matter of personal preference, because the Casio CTX3000 has a box style kind of keys, and on the Korg, I actually prefer the keybed on the Korg EK50. But I would say that the keybed on this is very, very decent. I am impressed that on a keyboard of this level, we have a nice microphone input as well as a 1/4-inch stereo left-right auxiliary out that you can connect to your PA system, as well as your headphone jack, as well as USB MIDI. There is unfortunately no MIDI 5-DIN ports that you can connect to control legacy devices, but it is to be expected in keyboards, home keyboards, consumer keyboards of this price range. And my final thoughts are this: I wish that more keyboards would be like this, where more of the functions and the buttons will be laid out, rather than trying to reduce the number of buttons and have a more minimalist kind of fascia, because that is not the way a live performer would want. They want all their functions that they need easily accessible without having to go through a convoluted menu. So in that sense, this Roland E-X30 has gone in the right direction, but I just cannot accept how it looks. It just looks cheesy, tacky. The color just doesn't look nice. It just doesn't look premium at all. But the key feel and the way it sounds is definitely a massive improvement over the Roland E-X30, which I have also tried, and I really didn't like that at all. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick unboxing and quick overview on this Roland E-X30 keyboard, and make sure you subscribe, because I am already recording the different voices and the styles in this keyboard using high quality direct audio recording. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.